Hello, everyone. Let's see who is all going to be tuning in tonight. I am looking forward to another fun night with you guys. I have my daughter here with me. She made a trip here from Milwaukee, so she's been spending, she came in yesterday, so we did a little bumming around today. Hi, Amanda. Hi, Denise. Hi, Lisa. Glad to have you all here. I'm just going to wait a little bit just to make sure people all get in here before I start everything. But how's everybody's week going? I'm having a great week, getting lots done. I have a card buffet on Saturday. Hi, Kelly. So I have to finalize everything for the card buffet. So I'm getting that stuff put together. And if anybody's available this weekend, I do have a few spots left. If you want to let me know no later than tomorrow, because I'm going to start cutting cardstock. So if you're interested in coming to the card buffet, let me know. I have an assortment of 16 cards, and you get to choose 8 that you will make and bring home with you. And I think we're even going to play a game of bingo just to mix things up a little bit. So if you have any good luck charms, if you're coming, bring it with you. Let's see. Oh, Katie Schmidt is on. Oh, look at Kelly Atchison is in Iowa. Woohoo! That girl, she likes to travel. Yeah. So yes, one of the things we did today, hi Amy, thank you for joining me tonight. Sean and I went over to visit with my in-laws. They just got back a month ago from Chile, and not like the restaurant Chile, like actual, they went to Chile. And they are in their upper 70s, and they were just so excited. They had a great time, and my father-in-law just he doesn't like heights, and he was, telling us a few things that he did and how he just looked straight. So it was kind of interesting chatting with them about their adventure to Chile. So they brought back some t-shirts for us and had lots of fun stories to share. So they did have a great time. So let's see. I think I am going to get my projects from last week because I have some lucky winners. So for commenting last week during my Facebook Live on Friday night, because I couldn't be here Wednesday because of the Facebook outage, so the cards that I made last week, we did the bunny card, and then we did get it going the right here, the Father's Day card, and those cards are going to Teresa Carls. So I don't know if she's on here tonight, but she will be getting these cards. So I will be putting those in the mail for her tomorrow. And then for sharing my video, I have a package of our rhinestones, and those are going to Karen Wetstein. So congratulations, Karen, on those. And like I said, I will get those in the mail tomorrow. So with that being said, I want to remind everybody, whether you're watching live or you're watching this on replay, please share my video. I really appreciate that. Stampin' Up is still going strong, or excuse me, Sale-A-Bration through Stampin' Up is still going strong. We have until March 31st, and then that will be done. So if you have any questions or interested in ordering, I have my host code that I will show you at the end of the live tonight that you can use that. For every $50 that you spend, there are free items that you can purchase. So that ends on March 31st, and if you have a big list, you may want to consider the discount shopper kit. That is $99 and you get to choose $175 worth of products. So that is huge. Boy, if I wasn't a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, now would be the time to get all that free stuff. And for an extra $30 for $129, you can get the Craft and Carry tote, which is a $50 value, and that is amazing. It is a nice tote. I take it with me to all my classes. I can fit my paper trimmer in there, tons of cardstock, everything that I need for my class. So that is available. And if you do not have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would be more than happy to help you with placing an order, just helping you with whatever you would need, and you just let me know and I'd be happy to stick a catalog in the mail. I have our current catalog, annual catalog, which goes through, I think it's June 3rd, and then we have a new one starting, and then our occasions catalog as well. So, hi Mary Carl's joining me. So with that being said, I think we are going to stamp tonight. I have a pretty card, and then the second card is actually a fun fold, and it's kind of a box card. I'm not exactly sure on the correct name for it, but I'm going to call it the box card, and it is very fun, and I hope you like it. So with that being said, I am going to flip the camera, and I am going to try to not show you my hands and get fingers in there. Hi, Deanne. Deanne is joining me. Thank you. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so make sure everything is straight here. Whoops, I know what I forgot to do. Okay, hold on tight here. Turn that off. Okay. Okay, whoops, there was a finger, sorry. Okay, so I think we are in position. I got my stand where it needs to be. Okay, how is that looking? Okay, all right. Okay, so I am just going to get my laptop here so I can see some comments, and if I miss your comments, my daughter is here and she's going to be catching any comments that I may miss. So, okay, all right. Here we go. Okay, so the first project we are going to make tonight is we are going to be making a card using the Lasting Lily stamp set. That is a free celebration item that is available through the end of March. This was the very first stamp set that I got because I just love the words in here, and it's a distinctive stamp, and I just love how it stamps. It's just so pretty. So let's get started. Okay, get all my stamps lined up here. Okay, I'm going to make sure that I have my piercing mat in the right spot so you can see what I'm stamping, so I'm not off camera because that's not fun. Okay, let me keep the cover on that so that doesn't dry out. Okay, and I need these. All right, So let's go over the measurements. Okay, so here we go. So we are starting out with a piece of gorgeous grape cardstock that's cut at 8.5 by 5.5. And then we have our Highland Heather that is 5 1/4 by 4. And then we have our Whisper White that's 5 1/4 by 4, and this is for our inside. I always like putting a white layer on the inside. And then we have our basic black cardstock, and this one, we have 2 pieces. This one measures 5 1/4 by 2 1/4. And then the second one measures 3 5/8 by 3 1/8. Okay, and then we have our Gingham Gala DSP, and this measures 5 1/4 by 2 inches. And then we have Whisper White, 3 1/2 by 3, and then 3 3/4 by 1 inch. This is a little piece that we're going to be stamping our sentiment on and using the triple banner punch to flag the end. Okay, so are we ready? Okay. Oops, got my liquid glue. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is when I'm cutting my cardstock at 8.5 by 5.5, I do not score it. I just fold it over and then I give it a good crisp burnish with my bone folder. Okay, so we have that. And then next we are going to layer our gingham with the black. So I'm going to glue that together. I just love this gingham paper. This is so pretty. And I'm really glad that the gingham is coming back. Okay, so we have that. And that is going to go on our 5 1/4 by 4 piece of Highland Heather. So I'm going to glue that on right away. Stick that right down the center. Okay, and then sometimes I cut my DSP, the layers, just a little longer because I would rather cut a smidgen off than have it short and then have that showing. That I don't like. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue this on my card base. Just like that. Isn't that pretty so far? Okay, and then set that aside. I am going to stamp up my inside because I kind of like doing that right away and being done with it. So this is a calla lily and I am stamping the larger flower in the gorgeous grape. And I'm just gonna go about maybe halfway or so and just stamp it on the left-hand side. And then I'm going to use the smaller flower and I'm going to stamp that in the Highland Heather. And I'm going to stamp that right next to it. And I'm gonna overlap just a little bit. Okay. And then I am going to stamp these stems in Pear Pizzazz. And the bigger flower has the stem with no leaf on it, so that's gonna just go right there. And then I'm going to stamp the smaller one right there. Okay, look at that. And then it comes with these like extra leaves that you can just kind of fill in. So I'm going to do an extra one over here. And then up there. And then I'm going to turn it around and use the bigger end and just do just a little bit on the bottom. Okay, so we have that. Then we are going to do, this is a sympathy card, and we are going to do the inside message in Gorgeous Grape. Our thoughts are with you. You know, you can just, sorry if my head is in the way here, I'm just trying to get this straight here for you. Sometimes it seems that you can just never have enough sympathy cards on hand. Okay, so there's our inside. And I'm going to put glue on that and put that on the inside right away because I don't want to drop anything on it and then get it all smudged. Okay, so there's our inside. Okay, so now we are going to stamp our flowers on the outside, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to use the large flower in the Gorgeous Grape, and I'm going to stamp that kind of close to the top, and I might cut just a little bit of the flower off on the left side. Okay, and then I'm going to use the smaller flower in the Highland Heather and just go off to the side a little bit. And then one more time up a little higher. Okay, and then we're gonna go through and do our stems again. Stamp that right there. And then do the smaller stem. What's everybody thinking so far? Are they liking the colors, stamp set? Okay, and now I'm gonna bring the other one in here and add some leaves just to make it fun and make it look like real flowers. And like that. So there we have that. So now I'm going to layer that on my black layer. Like that. Okay, and then I am going to get some twine, black twine in here. So how's everybody doing on the first day of spring today? Anybody have any plans, anything special that you do on the first day of spring? The first thing that I like to do is I just like to stamp in spring colors. So that's why we have the purple going on here. I just love these subtle flowers. They just remind me of summer and yeah. Okay, so we have that going on, and then what I am going to do is I am going to make a bow with my little bow jig that I have here. And what I did is I cut my black twine at 8 inches, and I have 2 pieces. So I'm just going to wrap them around and make a nice bow with this. I am really picky when it comes to my bows, and I don't like when they kind of flop all around. I like them to lay really nice. A friend of mine taught me this trick when we were at a stamping event, and then I am going to use a mini glue dot, and I'm going to attach that right like that. And what do we have Katie there? She likes to look for robins. Yes, that is another thing that I like doing too. Matter of fact, my husband, I'm trying to remember when he said he saw the first robin. Like last week one day, I think he said, hey, I just saw a robin in the neighbor's tree. Okay, so I just have that just secured down with a little mini glue dot, and I'm just going to trim the tails just a little bit. I had them just a little long. Oops. Get them even. Okay. Okay, so we have that. And then I'm going to get some dimensionals and put those on the back because, you know, Kathy likes a little bit of popping up. And then we'll have dimensionals all over the house. I did vacuum the other day and I was surprised that there weren't as many dimensional backs as I thought there would be. But that's kind of like a regular thing in our household. Dimensionals are everywhere. I'm trying to remember, Shauna, did you make a comment about seeing dimensionals? I think the last time you were home, she always has to make a comment about all the dimensionals laying around. Okay, so then I'm going to take this and I'm going to put this towards the top like that. Okay, so we have that. And then I am going to take my white piece that I have 3 3/4 by 1. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in my triple banner punch here. And I'm going to punch it so that I know where I need to stamp. So I am going to bring in my small flower here and stamp with the Highland Heather. And actually I am stamping off just one time just because I want it just a little lighter in the background, just to kind of add just a little bit of color behind the sentiment. Okay, so just kind of get that one at a different angle. And then our last one here. Okay, and then we are going to come in with Sympathy, and I'm going to close my ink pads here because we all know how I like to put my hands in the ink, especially at times when they don't belong there. So we will get rid of them. And here is my With Sympathy, and I'm stamping that on the Memento. One thing that I want you to remember when you're stamping with the Memento ink pads or the black StazOn, you want to make sure that you have them covered. You don't want to leave them open. To do your stamping is fine, but you won't want to leave your cover off and then finish putting your whole card together because it's just not a good idea. They dry out and then they don't stamp very nice. And another thing is whenever you buy an ink pad, you should always be purchasing the re-inker. Because if you're like a stamp like this, for example, the purple here, if you're doing a lot, if you're doing a big quantity of these, your ink is going to be very, very light and you're going to need to juice it up. So make sure whenever you purchase an ink pad that you always get the re-inker. I always try to catch that when people are ordering. And the same goes for the Memento because that looks, it looks a lot nicer. You're going to get a nice or a better image when your ink pads are juiced up. So we are going to stamp with Sympathy in the black Memento, and I am going to go right in the center with that. And then I'm just going to kind of hold it down for a little bit just to make sure we got nice coverage, and look at that. Pretty. Okay, so let's get rid of that ink pad and the punch, and then we are going to put some dimensionals on the back of this. Oops, I'm going to put 3 on here just so that it stays in place. Okay. And then I am going to stick this, and I'm going to put this all the way to the edge of the Highland Heather layer. just like that. Okay, so is that pretty? I think it's pretty nice. And then we are going to add a little bit of Wink of Stella to the flowers, just a little bit on around the edges, just to add a little bit of shimmer and shine. Have to have that. I love the Wink of Stella. Love, love, love. I love using glitter, and I like that it doesn't make a mess. Okay, so we have that, and then I have some glitter enamel dots. It needed just a little something, and I think this is going to be the perfect embellishment just to top it off. And these are so nice. I love these because they have glitter in them. So to kind of go with our Wink of Stella. And I'm going to start by putting one up here. And I'm using the smaller. If you'll notice, they come in 4 different sizes. And I am using the smaller one. And when I do rhinestones, pearls, any type of embellishment like this, I kind of like doing them in odd numbers. Okay, so what do you think? Do you love it? If you love it, show me the love. Okay, there we go. So that is card number 1. Now, let me just get this put away. And remember, for liking and sharing my video, I give the cards that I make at my previous Facebook Live. I do a drawing, and if I draw your name, then you are the winner of the cards from last week. So this week, by commenting and sharing, you could win this beautiful card. Okay, there we go. Now, let's move on to our last project. Okay, so this is just so stinking cute. Love, love, love this. It's just something different. And I'm gonna have to bring my Big Shot in here because there was one embossed thing that I did not do. Okay, so let me get my stuff all lined up here. When I'm stamping, and those of you that stamp with me know that I kind of like to be organized with everything, where I know what stamps go in what ink pad, and I like having everything all at my fingertips. Okay, so I'll leave my bow jig there because I'll need to make a bow, and this. Okay, so let me start by telling you all our sizes for our little box card here. Okay, so our first piece is our base, and this is lovely lipstick for 11 inches by 4, and we are scoring on the 11-inch side at 1/2 inch, 2 inches, 4 inches, and 5.5. Okay, and then our second piece of lovely lipstick is 3 1/4 by 2.5. Okay, and then we have Granny Apple Green, and this measures 5 1/4 by 3 3/4. And we are going to need 2 pieces of this, okay? So we have one for the front and to the back. And then we have 2 more pieces here. We have a 3 3/8 by 2 5/8. Okay, and then our last piece is 3 3/4 by 1 3/4. Okay, and our white, we have 5 1/8 by 3 5/8. and 3 inches by 2 1/4. And then the second part of our fold with this piece, we have powder pink, measuring 5.5 inches by 2 3/4, and we're scoring on the 5.5 inch side at 1/2 and 2 inches, okay? All right, so let's get started. And what I like doing with these types of cards is I like kind of getting everything all stamped up and ready to go, and then it's just a matter of assembling everything. Okay, so I'm just gonna set that aside and that aside for now. And then this is for that. Just gonna get my pieces all in line here. Okay, so I am going to, I'm gonna start with doing my Big Shot piece. And those of you, if you were not here last week when I did the masculine card, I used the gear and I used our embossing mats, and I embossed rather than die cutting it. Well, I'm going to do the same thing tonight with this piece, and this is coming from we're using the Abstract Impressions stamp set, and this is the Springtime Impressions framelits that go along with this. And this is so, so pretty. But the one thing that we want to do just with this card is I'm going to stamp my sentiment in front first before I do my embossing with that, so that I get the framelit right where it needs to be. So the words in this set, and I just love this. I think this was when we first got, this catalog became available, this was one of the first ones, stamp sets that I purchased. I just love all the flowers in there, but I really, really like the words, this kindness changes everything. Okay, I just think some people just need to be more kind. Okay, so I am going to stamp this right in the upper right-hand corner, and I'm just gonna press down and just hold it for a little bit, because the ink takes our colored cardstock a little differently than it does the Whisper White. So just want to hold it down there so that I get a really nice crisp image. Okay, so there's that. And then I'm just going to close up that ink pad, because I'm going to be bringing my Big Shot in here and show you how to do this embossing. I think this is so cool. I love this. Okay, so let me get my Big Shot here. Do it here so that everybody can see. Okay, put that around there. Okay, so we are going to use our Big Shot platform, just the regular platform that comes with your Big Shot, and we're going to use one clear cutting plate, and then this is the framelit that I am going to emboss. So I'm just going to kind of lay it on here where I know I want it to go. And then I have some painter's tape, and that's just gonna hold it in place so that it doesn't move when I run it through the Big Shot. Painter's tape, washi tape, whatever you have will work. Okay, and then we're gonna lay it upside down, okay? And then we are going to put our blue mat over the top of that, and then our white, the top, and this comes with the embossing mats, and I'm going to run that through. And then we're going to see the magic. And there we go. Isn't that pretty? It is so pretty. I hope with the lighting and everything that you can see the beautiful texture on there. Oh my gosh, love, love, love this. Okay, so I'm gonna put that away because we're done with that. And then as long as I have my Big Shot up here, I am going to run my piece of Granny Apple Green that I have 3 3/4 by 1 3/4. And I am running that through the Subtles embossing folder. And for those of you that are not familiar with our embossing folders, Stampin' Up! I think it was a little over a year ago, introduced us to these thicker ones, and they really, really leave a nice impression. The only thing that's different with this is that you only need one cutting plate. Our normal embossing folders, you would use, have a cutting plate on the bottom, your embossing folder, and another cutting plate on top. But you do not need this with the thicker ones. If you run it through, it will not go through. So it'll stop you and say, hey, this isn't right. So we're just going to put our Subtles folder with our Granny Apple Green cardstock in the middle and the cutting plate on top and run that through. And now I can put my big shot away because I don't need that anymore. And then I have this beautiful piece of Granny Apple Green with the Subtles folder. This folder, I tell you, I have been using this so much. I am surprised I have not lost it yet, because when I like adding just a little bit of something, a little layer, I just love it because it just adds just a little bit of texture, which is good. Okay, so we have that. So now we are going to stamp our small white layer, and we are using Lemon Lime Twist for the first color, and then Granny Apple Green. This Granny Apple Green, it's like, I've been using it so much, I just love it. Love, love, love it. So I am going to start with the Lemon Lime Twist, and I'm going to stamp this 2 times. I'm not stamping off, I'm just going to stamp directly on. And speaking of Lemon Lime Twist, if you are in love with this color, you need to stock up on it, because this color group is going away. We have Lemon Lime Twist, we have Tranquil Tide, Fresh Fig, Berry Burst, and Powder Pink. So all of those colors are going away, and when they're gone, they are gone. And I know I have learned my lesson that when Stampin' Up, when they retire colors, you need to get them right away, especially if it's a favorite color of yours. You need to get it because they do sell out fast. Our products are just amazing. I just love the bright colors they have, and they just stamp so nice. And on our Whisper White, this is the best. 110% white card, just amazing. I love how everything just stamps so much better on this. And look at the 2 tones we're getting with the Lemon Lime Twist and the Granny Apple Green. Okay, so we have that done, and as long as we're stamping our little stems, we are going to do this is it's the back of the card, but kind of the inside, the part that you're going to sign. Okay, so we're going to stamp down in the corner with the lemon lime and go over, oops, got some ink on my finger, don't want that, with the Granny Apple Green. Okay, and then we are ready for, so I'm going to put this away because I don't want to get ink over stuff, because I'm doing really, really well tonight. Are you guys proud of me that I'm not getting ink smudged all around like I normally do? I probably shouldn't have said that, because the time that I say something like that is when I'm going to get ink all over me. So here we go. So now we're going to go with the flowers, and I am using Powder Pink, which is the color that's being discontinued from our In Color group, or being retired, I should say, I'm sorry. And then Lovely Lipstick. Okay, so I'm going to start with the Powder Pink, and I'm just going to stamp right there. And then I'm gonna set that one aside and get this piece over here. Oh, look it, did you see what I did? Look at that. I shouldn't have said anything. A little smudgy on there. And then this one here. Okay, so now I am going to come in with my lovely lipstick and I'm going to go over the top like that. Actually, it is from my finger. Oh well. And then, let's see here. It's kind of hard to line these flowers up here. Let's see, what did I do? I'm just gonna go like this. Okay, so we have that done. And then we're gonna come over here and do that. Okay, voila. And then I am going to do my message in the lovely, lovely lipstick. And I love this message too. It says, if flowers were hugs, I'd send you 1,000. I really like that message. Okay, and I'm going to stamp that like right about there. Okay. All right, so now that we have all the stamping done, we can start putting this all together. So I am going to glue this white layer here that I just stamped. That is going to go on here. And you know what? I wonder if I cut this right because this looks a little bigger. Well, let's just see what we got here. And then, whoops, and then I have this piece here is going to get glued to the red. Okay, and then, then that is going to get popped up with dimensionals. Can everybody see everything okay? Am I stamping okay? We're good? Okay. Sometimes I feel like I get off screen a little bit and I'm stamping down too far. Okay, so put that on there like that. Oh, look at the love. I see all the red hearts. I love it, ladies. Thank you. Okay, so I can see here that I must have cut this red wrong, so I'm just going to take my scissors and I'm just going to cheat, and I'm just going to take a little smidgen off and see what that does. Okay, I want just a little bit showing through there. Okay. Okay, so we have that. All right, so now I think I have everything all stamped, and I'm just looking here to see. Okay, so now I have all my pieces here. Set everything out so I know where everything is at. Last week I lost the bunnies and I don't want to be losing any flowers today. Okay, whoops. Oh, and I know one thing that I want to do on the front here is I am going to just add a little bit of, I don't even know what this is calling. I call this flicking. I like using the marker and just flicking. So I'm just going to do, just to add a little bit, not too much, and that's all I did was I'm just taking the cap of my Stampin' Right marker, and I have lovely lipstick here, and I'm just splattering it. So I just get that splatter effect. I'm just kind of doing it on here so you can see. I do this on a lot of cards. When I just kind of want to add a little something, I like doing that. Okay, so that piece is all ready to go. So now we are going to put this together here. So what we are going to do is we're going to fold on all the score lines, and it's very important when you're putting boxes together or anything that like this, you want to make sure that you're burnishing with your bone folder, because it's going to make everything lay really nice. Okay, so just like that. Okay, so now I am going to add some tear and tape. I love this stuff. So you don't want to use your tape runner here because it will not hold it. Okay, and then I always want to get my scissors and I forget, oh yeah, I can just tear it. Okay, so I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to get my powder pink and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to burnish all my score lines. Okay, and then I'm going to put a little piece of tear and tape here. So the tear and tape is just going on just that 1/2 inch piece that you that we scored on the edge there. And then I'm going to set this one aside because I don't need this one right away. So now what we want to do is, before we start putting this together, we are going to put our layer here that we stamped our sentiment on and embossed with the springtime framelit. So we are going to layer that right there, like that. Okay, and then, and this is the message that goes in the back. So as long as my box is flat, I'm going to go ahead and put this on the back too. Okay, how's everybody doing? They liking what they see so far? Because the final project here is the bomb. I am loving this. Is anybody having any questions? Any questions at all? Okay, so what we are going to do now is we are going to peel our tear and tape. And I'm just going to use my little piercing tool to get in there and tear that off and throw that on the floor because I missed the garbage. Okay, so what we are going to do, when I used to put this kind of stuff together years ago, I would just kind of eye it up, and I learned, I think from Kelly, that what I'm going to do is I'm going on my second score mark. So this would be the 4-inch. I'm going to fold that over. Now remember, my second piece of tape is off of here. So once I press down, that's where it's staying. So I have my second score line and it's folded over, and I'm just gonna fold it down just like that. Okay, and then we have that. Okay, isn't that cute? And then we have the little layer here that I ran through the embossing folder with the Settles embossing folder. So I am just going to put a little glue on here, and I'm going to put this on my front layer here. How are we doing there, Shauna? Anybody having any questions?
No questions.
No questions? Okay, she's doing a good job over there. I love having my girl home. Okay. Okay, so we have that in there. Okay, so we have the first part done. Now we are going to basically do the same thing, with our pink layer. So I am going to go ahead and glue this on here. Does anybody happen to know the name of this fold? Because like I said earlier, I'm just calling it a box card, and it's probably not a box card, but that's what I'm calling it. So if anybody knows. Okay, so now I am going to do basically the same thing that I did with this first one. So I have my adhesive here, or tear and tape, and I'm just going to use my piercing tool, pull that off, and throw that on the floor. And then what I'm doing here for placement is I am just kind of doing like a little dry fit here. I want it to be centered, so I'm going to get it as close. Sometimes when I center things, when I'm done, I'm like, really? I must have been drinking when I centered that, because it's not centered very good. And I'm really not drinking tonight, and I'm really jealous because my husband and my daughter are. Okay, so remember, I have the tear and tape there. The layer is off. So when I stick it down, that's where it's going to stay, whether I want it there or not, okay? Because it's good. Okay.
What stamp set is that?
This is Abstract Impressions. You will find this in the annual catalog. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of glue on here to hold this panel down here. Okay. Just like that. Isn't that fun? Okay, so we have that going on, and then we need to make a pretty bow. So I got my little bow jig here that I have from my wonderful customer Mary Kay Birkin. Her husband made this for me. So what I'm going to do, and I usually have issues tying bows with this real fine, with this thin ribbon, this 1/8 inch, but this one seemed to go okay. I wanted 2 little loops on here, so I just, for those of you that that didn't see that, I'm just tying it around 2 times. Okay, oops. Okay, so we have that, and I'm going to cut my ribbon. Okay, put my tail over, tuck her under, bring her around, and knot her up.
Did you just say knock her up?
Knot her up. I'm going to knot her up. K-N-O-T. Okay. So, we have that. Get my mini glue dots in here. Okay, and sometimes you have to kind of futz with the ribbon to get it to lay where it's supposed to lay. There we go. Okay. And then I'm going to get my mini glue dot. Pop that right in the back there. And then I'm just going to kind of put this about right there, just kind of on the left side there. And then, of course, I need to trim the ends a little bit. Okay, so there you have it. What do you think? Do you like it or do you love it? I happen to really, really like this. I had card class at Hobby Lobby last night, and I did a balloon card with this, and I thought, oh, this is fun. I want to share this with my Facebook Live. So here we go. our beautiful card, little box card here using the abstract impressions. And just so you know, one thing I forgot to mention is this will go in a regular envelope just like that. You fold it up, and who wouldn't want to receive this in the mail? I love, love, love it. Okay, and then you have the back part where you could write your little message, and yeah, you're all good to go. So we have that card tonight, and we have the sympathy card. So what do you think? Did I do good tonight? I sure think I did. Usually I don't like to be too, whatever, I don't even know what word I'm looking for, but I love these. I am very impressed with myself tonight. I did really well. So, does anybody have any questions? Any questions? Looks like everything is going good. Yes, look at that. Very nice. So, just a reminder, I have orders going in every Thursday. So let me know if you need anything, and you're more than welcome to email me, call me if you have any questions. I have the celebration is still going on, and there's lots of choices. They came out with some extra items that you can choose from. So they have the stamp sets are all still available yet. The By the Bay, Hello Cupcake, Home to Roost, Lovely Lattice, Part of My Story, So Happy Together. And they have a new one, All Adorned, and the Painted Harvest. And with a $100 order, you can get the Painted Harvest stamp set and the DSP for free. With a $50 order, you can get the beautiful folder. I believe I used that folder I think 2 weeks ago. So there is that, and then some additional items here. The Painted Seasons paper, if you just place a $50 order, you can get just that. There's a Share What You Love embellishment kit, scattered sequins folder, pizza boxes, and I did not realize this until I had Stamp Club last week, and I had a customer order the doilies and the ribbon. You actually get 2 packs of doilies, and I love them because they're shimmery on one side and white on the back. And then the rich raspberry velvet ribbon, you get 2 of those. Beautiful Petal Promenade Designer Series paper, and the delightful detailed laser cut specialty paper. So those are your options. This does end on March 31st. So if you need to place an order, you can go to my online store right here at kathymiller.stampinup.net. Use my host code PV4QMRJJ if your order is under $150, and if it's over $150, then you will get your own rewards. So thank you so much for joining me tonight. Remember to share. I really appreciate that. And commenting, sharing, and placing an order will get your names in a drawing for prizes from me. So if nobody else has any questions, I think I am gonna sign off for the night and go spend some time with my daughter and probably go find some type of a good beverage. Okay, so thank you again for joining me. Next Wednesday, I will be here again, March 27th at 6:30 for some more fun stamping. So thank you very much. Have a great rest of your week. Bye-bye.